Hello children, welcome to English School. I'm Sonali Deraniyagala and today we are going to analyze and extract from Wave, a memory of life after the tsunami by Sonali Deraniyagala. This was requested from a student who is watching my videos, and first I'm going to talk about the writer Sonali Deraniyagala. She is a Sri Lankan memoirist and economist, and she was born in 1964 and currently serves as a lecturer in economics at SOS South Asia Institute, and she lost her husband, children and parents in the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami and was maddened with grief. What has saved her is daring to remember and to write. This is the real experience of her life which happens in 2004. This is the extract which we have to learn in our O-level lessons for O-level examination. First of all, I'm going to talk about the beginning of the story, beginning of this novel, because we have to enter our extract from that. This is the beginning of the novel. The book opens at a seaside resort in Sri Lanka's Yala National Park. Deraniyagala is on holiday with her husband Steve, their 8-year-old Vikram and 5-year-old Miley, and Deraniyagala's parents. They are going on a trip to Yala National Park. And Deraniyagala notices that the ocean looked a little closer than usual. This is the beginning and the major sentence of this book. And her friend Olantha has also taken a break from living in Los Angeles to teach in Colombo for a few years, and they run into each other during the trip. Now, they didn't plan to go together to Yala National Park, but we can see Deraniyagala and her friend Olantha meets in Yala National Park. The extract which is in the lesson started while Deraniyagala and her friend was having a chat. This was the quotation that I took from the Wave novel. Now Olantha and I chatted in the doorway of this hotel room. We hadn't planned to come to Yala together. She was with her parents who were on holiday from the States. She watched the antics of my boys now and told me that she would love. This is the beginning, or this is the entering statement of our extract from the Wave. Okay, let's read the extract, let's read the prose, and let's see what are the themes and literary techniques of our extract. Okay children, this is the extract from Wave which we are going to learn for our O-level examination. Let's read out and find what are the literary techniques of this text. An extract from Wave, a memory of life after the tsunami by Sonali Deraniyagala. It was then she saw the wave. Oh my God, the sea is coming in. The sea is coming in. This is ironical, and also personification can be seen here. Ironical. How can this be ironical? Sea is coming in. They are experiencing something new. Sea is coming in. This is going to actually happen. This is the foreshadowing or the irony of tsunami. This is what is going to happen next. And personification, we can also see how the sea has been personified in this quotation. Sea is coming. Sea is coming. Sea has been personified here. The That's what she said. I looked behind me. I didn't seem that remarkable. This is ironical. She didn't seem it remarkable. She thought it was not remarkable. It was not worth of considering. But now, at the final stage of the story, we can see what a disaster of that. Oh, alarming. It was only the white curl of a big wave. She's thinking it was just white curl of a big wave. But this is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing what is going to happen. And this is ironical. This is ironical because she thinks this is just white curl of a big wave. This is just white curl. Yes, this is just white curl which is compared to the beginning. This is the white curl. This is the beginning of a big wave. This is the beginning of tsunami. But you couldn't usually see breaking waves from our room. You hardly noticed the ocean at all. It was just a glint of blue above that wide spread of sand that sloped sharply down the water. Now the froth of a wave had scaled up this slope and was nearing the tall conifers that were halfway between our room and the water's edge. And now the water is coming towards their room. Okay, it was halfway between our room and the water's edge. The water or the tsunami or the wave is coming towards their room. Okay, it conquers those trees in this landscape of brittle thorny scrub. This was peculiar. I called out to Steve in the bathroom. Now she is calling out for her husband. Come out, Steve. I want to show you something odd. I want to show you something odd. Something different. I want to show you something different. This tsunami. Foreshadowing. They don't know. They don't know this is tsunami. They know this is something odd. This is something different. I didn't want him to miss this. I didn't want him to miss this. This is ironical. Because if her husband missed this, if her husband missed tsunami, he would be alive still. He wouldn't be dead. So, if she knew her husband is going to die, she wouldn't say this sentence. I didn't want him to miss this. This is ironical. I wanted him to come out quick before all this foam dissolve. We know this foam don't dissolve. In a minute, Steve muttered, with no intention of rushing out. He has no intention of rushing out because they don't know what this is going to happen. What is going to happen? They don't know. They have no idea. Because of that, he has no intention of rushing out. This is ironical because we know in the last stages of the story, we can see how they are rushing out. Okay? They even don't stop for their parents. Okay, we can see that in the story. Then there was more white froth and more. Here we can see repetition to show how much white froth is there. There was more white froth and more. Vic was sitting by back door reading the first page of The Hobbit. It's only the first page he is beginning to read. I told him to shut the door. It was a glass door with 4 panels, and he closed each one and came across the room and stood by me. He didn't say anything. He didn't ask me what was going on. Even he is being afraid. He is being scared of this odd thing. He don't know what is going to happen, and he is even afraid to ask. Okay? The foam turns into wave. Now the foam that she told before, it's only the white froth of a big wave. This foam now turned into waves. Waves leaping over the ridge where the beach ended. Now, waves leaping, personification, right? Waves leaping over the ridge where the beach ended. Now it's coming closer and closer. This was not normal. Now she is thinking this is something should be considering. Okay? This was not normal. This is foreshadowing and also ironical because this was not normal. Actually, tsunami, it was not normal. The sea never come that far in. The sea never came that far in. Now, she fears the difference. She fears the disaster. She feels what is going to happen. Waves are not receding or dissolving. Now, she knows that these waves are not going to dissolve. Closer now. Now the sea is coming closer. Brown and grey. Brown and grey. Repetition. She knows the color should be blue or white. The sea we normally know. Okay, that's blue. But now it's brown and grey. The sea is brown and grey. Waves rushing past the conifers and coming closer to our roof. Now the waves are coming closer. Are these waves now, all these waves now, churning, suddenly furious? Now it's been furious. Now they are being afraid, they are being scared. Because these waves are not normal. This is not normal. It became furious now. Suddenly, mannequin. Steve, you got to come out now. There we can see the rushing. Okay, Steve, you got to come out now. Steve ran out of the bathroom. Now, Steve knows something is going to happen. It's not normal, okay, because his wife is shouting, tying his sarong. He looked outside. We didn't speak. Here we can see Vic didn't speak. Before, Vic didn't ask any questions from her, and also now Steve and Deraniyagala, they didn't speak because they don't know what is going to happen. I grabbed Vic and Molly and we all ran out the front door. I was ahead of Steve. Molly, here we can see using the first language usage, we can see in Sinhala we say Molly to call our younger brother. So this is what they call for their younger child. I held the boys each by hand. She grabbed the boys each by hand and she is running ahead of Steve. Give me one of them, give me one of them, Steve shouted. Here we can see repetition. Reaching out. But I didn't. That would have slowed us down. Now they are running. They are also furious. They are running to save their lives. They know something, disaster, something, danger, something negative is going to happen. Now they are running. Okay? Now she thinks that if I stop to give one of my children to my husband, it can be slow us down. Because of that, we had no time. Because of that, I have to run with grabbing their hands. We had to be fast. I knew that, but I didn't know what I was fleeing from. I'm running, but I don't know what I was fleeing from. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know what is happening. But I know we have to be fast. We have to get out of there. I didn't stop for my parents. I didn't even stop for my parents. I didn't stop to knock on the door of my parents' room. I even didn't stop. Here we can see repetition. I didn't stop. I didn't stop. The phrase has been repeated. I didn't stop for my parents. I even didn't stop for my parents because I have 2 children to protect, which was next to ours. They have rooms next to each other, but she didn't even stop for their parents. If she is stopped for their parents, they also can be saved. On the right, as we ran out, I didn't shout to warn them. I didn't shout to warn them. Now she is feeling guilty. Now she is feeling guilty. She may think that she could have done those things. She could have stopped for her parents. She could have knocked on their door. She should have shouted to warn them. If she would, they also would have been saved. I didn't bang on their door and call them out. Here we can see how guilt she feels after this happens. Okay, now she is memorizing the thing. Now when she memorizing the thing, she thinks that if she could do all these things. As I ran past, for a splintered second, I wondered if I should. Only for a second I wondered if I should. But I couldn't stop. It will stall us. Okay? Now, she is being selfish. Okay? She is only want to save her life and her children and husband. Okay? In that second, only for a second, she thinks if I should stop for them. But again, she remember she couldn't stop. If she stopped, it will stall them. We must keep running. I held the boys tight by their hands. We have to get out. We fled towards the driveway at the front of the hotel. The boys ran as fast I did. They didn't stumble or fall. Okay, they are only little boys, but usually they could stumble or fall when they are running. But because of this situation, because of even they are afraid, they are being scared. Because of this scaredness, they didn't stumble or fall. They were barefoot. They even didn't have their slippers on. They were barefoot, but they didn't slow down because stone or thorns were hurting them. If it is another time, they would be complaining that stones or thorns would hurt them. But now they didn't slow down because of that. They didn't say a word. They didn't complain. Our feet were loud though. Here, the writer Deraniyagala expressed how hard or how fast they ran. I could hear them. Personification we can see. Our feet were loud. Okay? Slam in the ground. Here we can see onomatopoeia. The sound. Slam in the ground. It's like slam in the ground. Ahead of us, a jeep was moving fast. Now it stopped. Here we can see Sri Lankan people, they help each other. Even like this disaster, the jeep was stopped for her. safari jeep with open back and sides and brown canvas hood. This jeep was waiting for us. Even the waves are coming, this jeep was waiting for us. We ran up to it. I flung Vikram into the back and he landed face down on the green corrugate metal floor. Here we can see how furious, how fast and how scared they are. Okay? When Deraniyagala flung Vikram, she threw Vikram into the back. Okay? When it happened, she saw that he landed face down. They don't have to be slowed down like this situation. Steve jumped in and picked him up. We were all inside now. Steve had Vic on his lap. I sat across from them with Mully on mine. A man was driving the jeep. I didn't know who he was. Here, this is special. A man was driving the jeep. I didn't know who he was. Even he also didn't know these people. Even he didn't know, he stopped the jeep. He stopped the jeep to save these people. But we can remember Deraniyagala didn't stop for their parents. Okay? Now I looked around me and nothing was unusual. Okay? Now we are in the jeep. Nothing was unusual. This is ironical. Okay? Nothing was unusual. Okay? Everything was unusual in this situation because of the tsunami, because of the wave. Everything is unusual. But now they are in the jeep and they feel nothing unusual. No frothing waters here, only the hotel. Here they don't have frothing waters, only the hotel. Here this is ironical because the opposite of this is going to happen because the water is going to come to this jeep also. It was all as it should be. The long rows of rooms with clay-tiled roofs, the terracotta floors of the open corridors, the dusty orange-brown gravel driveway thick with wild cactus on both sides. All there. The waves must have receded, I thought. This is ironical because even though she thought the wave must have receded, they were not. They were coming back to them. I hadn't seen Olantha run with us. She even forgot her friend. But she must have done. She was in the jeep. Her parents had rushed out of their rooms as we came out of ours. And now her father, Anton, was with us too. Olantha's mother, Beulah, was hoisting herself into the jeep and the driver revved the engines. The jeep jerked. Here we can see an alteration. The J sound is repeated. Forward and she lost her grip. Fell off. She can't make it. She couldn't make it. The driver didn't see this. I told him to stop. Now Deraniyagala is calm. Now she told him to stop. Now she is thinking about others. Because of that time, that situation, because of the scaredness of that time, only she was being selfish. But now here we can see she told him to stop. I kept yelling to him that she had fallen out. But he kept going. Now here we can see the driver of the jeep. He kept going because he knows something is happening. Beulah lay on the driveway and looked up at us as we pulled away. They leave Beulah on the driveway. She half smiled in confusion, it seemed. Half smiled. In confusion, she doesn't know what is going to happen to her. Half smiled. She knows her husband is going to be saved. Because of that, maybe she is smiling. But half, because she know maybe she may have died. Anton leaned out the back to reach Beulah and drag her up. The love of her husband. When he couldn't, he jumped out. Here, Anton loved her wife. Okay? Anton loved her wife. When he couldn't save her, he jumped out. They were both lying on the gravel now. But I didn't call out to the driver to wait for them. Now she didn't call out to the driver to stop. She was driving very fast. He's right. I thought. We have to keep moving. Soon we will be away from the hotel. Now they want to save their lives. We were leaving my parents behind. Not all Anta's parents. Even we are leaving my parents behind. We didn't save them. I panic now. Now, when they get away from the hotel, she is again panicked. Now she is again remember the parents. If I had screamed at their doors as we ran out, they could have run with us. Here, scream, we can see the auditory imagery. If I had screamed, I could have screamed at their door. They could have run with us. We didn't get Archie and Sia. Here we can see use of first language, also use of repetition. We didn't get Archie and Sia. I yelled to Steve. Archie and Sia. Here we can see first language usage and also we can see repetition. Here we can also see Archie and Sia repetition. This made Vikram cry. You know, we all love our Archie and Sia, that means our grandparents. So Vikram cries. Steve held on to him, clasping him to his chest. Archie and Sia will be okay. They will come later. They will come, Steve said. Here we can also see irony. They will not come. They have been dead by now. Vic stopped crying and snuggled into Steve. Even Steve don't know if Archie and Sia will be okay. I was thankful for Steve's words. I was reassured. Steve is right. There are no waves now. Ma and Da, they will walk out of their room. We will get out of here first and they'll join us. I had an image of my father walking out of the hotel. There were puddles everywhere. He had his trousers rolled up. I'll ring Ma on her mobile as soon as I get to a phone, I thought. Now she is thinking about her parents and she thinks as Steve told Vikram, maybe her Ma and Da, Archie and Sia of Vikram would have been saved, and she is imagining how her father and mother is coming out from the hotel, and she is thinking that when she reach a mobile, she'll ring her mother. We were nearing the end of the hotel driveway. We were about to turn left onto the dirt track that runs by a lagoon. Steve started at the road ahead of us. He kept banging his heel on the floor of the jeep. Here, tactile imagery, we can say how he kept banging his heel on the floor. The furiousness. Hurry up, get move on, hurry up. This is the auditory imagery we can see. The jeep was in water then. Suddenly, the water came into the jeep. That is the ironical situation that we talked about before. Suddenly, all this water inside the jeep. All this water inside the jeep. Here, this is irony and also a metaphor. Because irony, we know it's like all this water inside the jeep means she told, Deraniyagala told before that they are getting away from this disaster, away from this hotel or the sea waves. And this is ironical. And also we can see this is metaphorically compared to how they are going to die, how this water came into their lives. Water sloshing over our knees. Where did this water come from? I didn't see those waves get to us. This water must have burst out from beneath the ground. What is happening? The jeep moved forward slowly. I could hear its engine start straining, snarling. We can drive through. Here we can see onomatopoeia snarling. We can drive through this water, I thought. They have hope of living. They have hope of living. They want to be alive. They want to be alive. Because of that, she always think this is going to be solved and we can drive through this water. We can be saved. We were tilting from side. The water rising now, filling the jeep. It came up to our chest. Steve and I lifted the boys as high as we could. Now they are going to save their kids. Steve and I lifted the boys as high as we could. Even they are going to die, they want to save their children. Steve held Vic and I had Molly. Their faces above the water, the tops of their heads pressing against the jeep canvas hood. Now they are holding and lifting their boys so high that their heads pressing against the jeep's canvas hood. Our hands tight under their armpits. We can have a visual imagery of that. The jeep rocked. It was floating. The wheels no longer gripping the ground. Now the jeep is also floating. We kept steadying ourselves on the tactile imagery, we can see, and no one spoke, no one uttered a sound. We can see here auditory imagery. Then I saw Steve's face. I'd never seen him like that before. A sudden look of terror, eyes wide open, mouth agape. Here, first we saw that he has no rushing out. He has no rushing coming out of the bathroom. Now, Deraniyagala see Steve's face, her husband's face. He saw something behind me that I couldn't see. I didn't have time to turn around and look. Maybe he saw the big wave. Because it turned over, the jeep turned over on my side. Pain. That was all I could feel. Here we can see tactile imagery also. Where am I? Where am I? Here, where am I? This is a rhetorical question. Something was crushing my chest. This is alliteration. Crushing my chest. I am trapped under the jeep. I thought I am being flattened by it. I tried to push it away. I wanted to wriggle out, but it was too heavy. It is a jeep. Whatever was on me, the pain unrelenting in my chest. Something is in her chest and she can't move on. I wasn't stuck under anything. She thought she was stuck under something. She was stuck. But I wasn't stuck under anything. I was moving. I could tell now. My body was curled up because here, now we can see this is only because of the water. She wasn't stuck under anything. Because of the water, her body was curled up. I was spinning fast. Here we can see tactile imagery. Am I underwater? I didn't feel like water. Here, rhetorical question. This is a question she used for herself. But it has to be, I thought. I was being dragged along, and my body was whipping backwards and forwards. Here we can see oxymoron, backwards and forwards. I couldn't stop myself when at times my eyes opened. I couldn't see water, smoky and grey. Here we can see maybe she has been unconscious, and when she opens the eyes again, I couldn't see water. The tsunami is over now. She can also only see smoky and grey. Everything has happened. Everything have ended, and she can see only the smoky and grey around her. Okay, this is the end of the extract, and you know now she has lost her whole family because of this tsunami incident. Okay, these are the themes of this text. Extract from wave, normalcy and sudden disruption. First, in this extract, we can see the normalcy. The extract begins with a normal chatting. Okay, this normalcy becomes sudden disruption. Quickly become disruption. In the first chapter of wave, we can see this normalcy and how it can become a sudden disruption. And the nature's power, of course, we can see nature's power. Nature is more powerful than human. Okay, and the next one is loss and grief. Deraniyagala has lost her parents. Because of that, when she is running away from these waves, she didn't think about her parents. She didn't have to stop for her parents. But after everything happens, she thinks about it. She feels guilt about it, and she feels sorry. She feels sorrow of her loss and grief. She even lost her husband and her 2 children, all family. And survival and loss. Being survival and loss. The Deraniyagala survived from this situation, and her husband, her parents, her 2 sons, they have been lost. And also here we can see how Anton, Olanta's dad, how he sacrificed himself for his wife. And fear and uncertainty. Fear and uncertainty. As I told you through this story, we could see the fear of everyone. Okay? Uncertainty. They don't know what would happen. One time, Deraniyagala says that I know I want to run fast, but I don't know what I am fleeing from. I don't know what I am avoiding, but I know I have to avoid it. I know I have to run from it. Okay, that is uncertainty. They don't know what is going to happen. This is there, and this is that was our first experience, tsunami. Okay, fear and uncertainty. And family bonds. Family bonds, she thinks about her parents. And also she didn't stop for her parents because of her children, because she want to save her children. And also we can see the Anton's behavior, what Anton did for his wife, and also at the finally when they are in the jeep, how Steve and Deraniyagala try to save their children by lifting them up. These are the themes of our text. An extract from Wave. And these are the techniques first person narrative style have been used, and symbolism has been used. The sea is the uncontrollable force of nature. The jeep is safety and also for danger. The hotel is for a place of comfort. That is ironical because when they are in the hotel, this disaster happens. And repetition, we talk about this repetition. And rhetorical question, the rhetorical questions have used techniques, imagery. We could show visual imagery, auditory imagery, and also tactile imagery. And foreshadowing, we talked about these things while we are reading the text. And alliteration, we could see alliteration and personification and irony. Anaphora is also like repetition, but repetition of a phrase which used in two sentences. Here we can see, I didn't stop for my parents. I didn't stop. The both sentences have begun with same phrase. I didn't stop. No one spoke. No one uttered. Like that, if two sentences have the same beginning, same phrase to begin, we can say that is an anaphora. Next one, onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, I could hear its engine starring, snarling. The sounds something makes, slamming the ground, and bang on their door. Like that sounds, onomatopoeia. And first language had been used, Malik, Archie and Sia. Like that, first language had been used in this extract or the text. Okay, I think you understood the lesson. So if you have any questions, you can comment below. And if you like my video, like and share with your friends so they can learn too. And subscribe to my channel so you can have more videos like this. So goodbye children, see you from the next video.